Yes, very every day.
Thank you very much.
And it's devoid of insults, but straight to the point, factual and fearless.
Hey, Charlie, no be joke. The pressure people like Johnnie can give you.
No.
You no get grey hair, you go get grey hair.
I'm innocent.
And that's what I'm saying. That the pressure Johnnie and his people, the pressure they can give you no get grey hair, you go get. So your best bet is not to have hair.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's a Wednesday morning, and I'm always excited on Wednesdays because I'm a Wednesday born myself. The president is also a Wednesday born. And today, I came to speak to the president about a very, very important subject. Yesterday, a certain executive instrument, EI 144, had come out concerning the Achimota forest. And maybe I digress a bit. Those who went to Achimota school, they will usually tell you it's Achimota. Well, the thing is Achimota, because even in their anthem, Achimota, they finish singing that and they come and tell us it's Achimota. So they say Achimota, but it's Achimota. You don't disclose a person's identity. Now, Mr. President, I'm sure you have seen the reactions, which is perhaps what necessitated your Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, MP for Damongo, to come and explain to us what is happening. And my grandfather told me many, many years ago that if somebody keeps explaining themselves, then there's a lie somewhere. The moment somebody keeps talking, there's a problem somewhere. That means that there's a certain knot somewhere that the people perhaps do not want us to know and see. And you could tell by the reaction of the citizenry on Twitter, professionals and all those climate change people, that they are not happy about whatever has gone on. Mr. President, I don't need to remind you that you are the UN co-chair for the Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 13, Danny, maybe you put that up for me. Goal 13, SDG Goal 13, talks about climate action. Goal 13 talks about climate action. And it says there should be a rapid response to climate action. All of what's happening around the global warming, all those big speeches that we made. President, you took people from here to Glasgow, COP26. You did. You took people from here, state-funded, took them to Glasgow, a huge number of people to Glasgow. When you went to Glasgow, Mr. President, as part of your speech, you also went to ask them for monies that they had promised. You see, they flatly refuse to give us the monies because they say when they give us the monies, the African leaders would actually chop the money. So the white man doesn't trust you. Not you, Mr. President, but all of you African leaders who went there, who were asking for that money that had been promised you. The white man is reluctant to give it to you because when the white man comes here to meet our chiefs, the kind of conversations that our chiefs have with them, doesn't inspire them. And I'm reminded on this day what His Royal Majesty 2482 had said. He said the minister and his people had come to him to tell him to stick to a certain script they had written for him. You want to convince Utufo to say what you want to say. But Mr. President, let's go back because I'm particular about climate change and the climate action because you are the UN deputy co-chair, if you will, of the SDGs. SDG Goal 13. You're encouraging all of us to do this so that by 2030, it will be done. SDG Goal 13. Already you are in the Atiwa forest. Now, let's go back to the Achimota forest. The Achimota forest was gazetted in 1930. The Achimota forest. It was gazetted in 1930. So there's Achimota, there's Tesano, there's Jowulu, there's Abelinkpe. It was gazetted in 1930. At the time, it had a total size of 494.95 hectares. Listen, 494.95 hectares. That was the size of the Achimota forest. It was supposed to be that green buffer between Accra and Achimota, the school. As at 2013, the size of the forest had reduced to 360 hectares. So a total of 134 more hectares, 27% of that forest had been lost. Now, the Achimota forest, as I mentioned earlier, was created to create that green buffer. It was also established to create a certain forest reserve. A green buffer, a forest reserve, the city of Accra, and it was also to provide cheap fuel for the school at the time, because at the time, LPG was not there. Today, there's LPG. It was also partly to be managed as a natural reserve, a recreational park, and a nature study facility for students and researchers. This was the thinking in 1930. We are in 2022, more than 90 years on. And this will serve as a green buffer. Today, that green buffer, when we decided that the Indians were going to give us our presidential palace or our Jubilee House or our Flagstaff House, the Accra Zoo, Nkrumah's Accra Zoo, had to be moved from there. It was taken into the Achimota Forest Reserve, where most of the animals at the zoo were taken there. So the forest currently is managed as an arboretum and a wildlife rescue center. And there are hyenas there, there are pythons there, you have ostriches there, you have camels there, you have monkeys there, you have all manner of things there. Spider, scorpion, name them. Natural habitat, that's their natural habitat. Achimota Forest. Today, we are being told, and I'm not concerned whether it's being sold or it's not being sold, but I want us to think about something. Danny, last year alone, we spent how much to plant trees? Last year, the Green Ghana thing. Put that picture up for me. Last year, Green Ghana, we spent 12 million Ghana cedis. 12 million Ghana cedis to plant trees. This is it. Over 12 million Ghana cedis last year alone to plant trees. So we have become a plant tree, cut tree government. Ajana 1, Ajana 2. Plant tree, cut tree. When I grew up at Kaneshie and Abosokai, you go to the market there, where they call the orbit, the main market area. The guys who used to play a certain game with ropes, and then they'll give you a stick, and then they'll collect your money. You have to trace the knot, and then when they pull it, and so that's what we're doing. We plant trees, and then we cut trees. But Mr. Abujinapo, you, Mr. Abujinapo, while in opposition, you had cause to criticize Sada and Jida. You said they were cutting trees to plant trees. You said it. Maybe you have forgotten. Today, you are Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Your job is to assist the president to protect our forest reserve. Under your watch, you are telling us that a certain family was given leave and license back in 2013 and 2016. Later, it was granted to them. So you are only enforcing what had already been agreed upon. I thought that the Mahama administration were pushed out because of some of these things. And why on earth, as a country, do we go to a family, ask them for a piece of land to do whatever we want to do, and then we keep the land for whatever reason, and then the family now finds reason to come to say, give us back our land. And you find that most of these give us back our land ends up as lands for the rich and mighty, the powerful in society, and those in government. Check the aviation lands. All those chado, chain homes. Check those places. They say families are agitating. They want their land. They want their land. So we want to give the land back to them because we are not using it for the purpose. But the land goes to them. Next time, big men are owning houses there. Go and check. So all this, you are giving them back their land. We see some before. Then if I could entry me, tonko, Nasu Minda, you find it for me. 12 million was what you spent to plant trees. And I've told you, Sada and Jida were told had a 70% success rate. Independently verified. I have asked the minister and his deputies and all the chief directors and all the actors, everybody who did the pomp and pageantry from parliament to the judiciary to the presidency, everybody who planted those 5 million trees with 12 million Ghana cedis of our taxpayers' monies to come and show us where they planted the trees, how the trees are doing at this time. That would have been a very beautiful success rate for you, a very beautiful story, giving you the impetus to now say we want to plant 20 million trees in 2022. You have not shown us what you have done. The president only in the Sona told us that the trees are largely doing well. That's all. When you say they are largely doing well, what do you mean? 90% are doing well. What do you mean? Where are the trees? Now you have not shown us what you have done with the 12 million, where the trees are. You are going to cut trees, and then you are telling us they're going to create an eco park. You are cutting trees to plant trees. Ajana 1, Ajana 2. That's what you are doing. You are cutting trees to plant trees. It doesn't make sense. And Mr. President, I'm saying that is why, as UN co-chair on the SDGs, you went to Glasgow with a huge number. All of you African leaders who went to beg for money shamefully were told that we won't give you the money, because when we give you the money, we won't see it. They have heard you take over the media's fight against Galamsey, and we have all seen how you have run it. In the run-up to the 2020 elections, you told us, your government told us, your first government told us that we had actually done 95% of the fight against Galamsey. The Minister for Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng, had told us, what do you call it? Minister for Defense, Dominic Little, had told us, and Bruce Derry had repeated same. All of the ministers who were in charge, John Peter Mewu, they have all repeated same. Today, here we are. We are cutting trees to plant trees, and you can't be spending money to plant 20 million trees. And guess what? This year, we only intend to plant 8 different species of trees in one day. And then you are planning to destroy a forest like Atiwa Forest that has 700 different species. It doesn't make sense. So that is why nobody in their right frame of mind, in the age of the UN Decade for Ecosystem Restoration and the post-2020 biodiversity framework, as was recently agreed at Glasgow, will be thinking of destroying a forest that has only 18% of the country's bauxite. Bauxite that is even poor in quality compared to other places in Ghana. Mr. President, I'm reminding you of SDG Goal 13. That's what you are co-chairman for. That's what the world is looking at you for. In your backyard, Achimota. In your backyard. I'm sure you've heard it. So all these explanations, it really doesn't add up. Because you can't be spending money to plant trees and be cutting trees. It doesn't add up. Already, the establishment of Gimpa and other settlements around those places, the Jowla, Belenkpe area, have taken part of the forest. They have taken part of the forest. What is left now? What is left now? Even though it's become a prayer camp and all of that, and sometimes I ask questions as to why we have allowed it to happen like that. Because it's a reserve. The animals need their peace of mind too. Now we are cutting trees to plant trees. And you know what? The LPG Association are telling us that a wide number of people are not able to afford LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, because it is becoming more expensive. You know what that means, Mr. President? The trees that you are planting, the trees that are already existing, will be cut and used for charcoal. People will revert to those old means. Now go to any LPG station. People are buying LPG in tots. Madam Mami 10 cedis. Madam Mami 15 cedis. They are buying it in tots. They take a 14 kg to the place and they can't fill it to the brim because they don't have money. So they are already thinking charcoal. And then to add insult to injury, we are going to cut trees. So you plant 20 million, then you cut some more. Then you plant 5 million, and then you cut some more. Wouldn't it have been better to have maintained what you have and then added on the 20 million or the 5 million? Can you imagine how many trees would have had? How cooler Accra would have become? How much rain we would have gotten? How much harvest would have made from our food? Can you imagine how beautiful that place would have been? How serene it would have been? Nobody is thinking of touching the Amazon forest. We are thinking of touching the Tiwa. And now we are thinking of Achimota forest. And yet, boss, you are the co-chair of the UN Committee on SDG. I say SDG Go 13 today. You brought it to us. You brought it to us. You brought it to us. SDG Go 13. Whoever it was sold to, whether it's been sold, I don't care. I'm saying refer to SDG Go 13, Mr. Abujinapo. Refer to SDG Go 13. You complained about Sada and Jida in the opposition. What you are doing is worse off. Good morning.